Hello, my friend, and welcome back. In this section, we are going to be talking about leadership. So, we're looking at the different areas. We have communication, and now we're looking at leadership, and we're going to be looking at design and systems as well. The key word when we're talking about leadership is influence. Leadership can be summed up as influence, it's the effect that our lives have on other people. And is the influence that we're having a positive effect or a negative effect? When we walk into the room, does it light up or does it go down? All these things are indicators to the effectiveness of our leadership. Now, I know that some people can be very negative about leadership. In some circles, it's become a buzzword, but more often than not, it is actually misunderstood. Leadership is not control. Controlling and manipulating people is not leadership. It's what would you call it? Oh, you call it controlling and manipulating people, and it's really negative. It's really low level, and I don't want anything to do with it. Influence is leading a person or an organization to the agreed desired outcome. That's what leadership is about. Leadership is win-win. Leadership works for everyone. You might be saying, yeah, but Mark, I just don't want to be a leader. I don't want to take on all that responsibility. And that's fine. I get that. And that's not something I would force on you in any way, shape, or form. But I would say this: there is one person that you do have to lead if you want to enjoy any sort of success, and that person is you. The hardest, the most difficult, and the most important person that any of us can ever learn to lead is ourselves. You see, if you don't lead your life, someone else will do it for you. You truly will. That they will be the ones who will decide where you go, what you do, what you earn, when you get up, when you go to bed, what you spend, how you spend it, who you see, when you see them. That will be decided for you. But if you choose to lead your life, you take control in all those areas. I'm not saying you won't have people you're responsible to. I'm not saying you won't have people who you're accountable to. You definitely will. All of us do. And that's how it is. But within that, you will lead your life. My life was transformed when I understood this. And it was, I can tell you where I was. I've been traveling. Where had I been traveling? I was in South Africa. I just traveled through the United States, and I'd seen some amazing things there. I'd seen some amazing organizations. I was thinking, wow, how do they do this? How do they do this? And then I was in South Africa and I was working in a church out there. And the pastor took me aside one day and he said, just come and have a look at this, Mark. And he showed me a video. And we're talking the late 90s here, about, I think it was 98, 99, somewhere around there. So it was, the monitors were about this big, about that deep. And then on the screen, the video came on, and it was just this little letterbox thing because we didn't have the processing power back then. And that wasn't long ago. it's amazing. But in this little video, on walks John Maxwell. And I can remember he was wearing an amazing jumper. And he said, I want to tell you about the law of the lid. And I'll never forget it. He said, the level of your leadership will determine the level of your success in any area, your department, your company, your career, your family. Doesn't matter what it is. And that was a life-changing epiphany for me. I mean, I literally saw the synapses in my head flash. I saw light. So many things suddenly came into place. And from that moment, I became a student of leadership. And that's why I'm an executive director with the John Maxwell team to this day, because I realized just how key all of this is for any area of our lives. Even if you just say, you know what, I'm going to learn to lead myself. That's enough. That is going to set you apart. and it's going to give you an awful lot more of what you desire, and it's going to help you become a lot more effective in whatever area you want to do. And I'm not just talking about making money. If you're into voluntary work, if you invest your time in charities or ministries that are serving other people, you learn how to lead yourself, your effectiveness is going to multiply massively. I'm not exaggerating. And and the Law of the Lid, now that's part of the flagship training course that we do. So that was the one that cost the most, and that's a 2-day immersive. And I guess actually we do a couple of light versions as well. But that's the game changer. Once someone gets serious, starting to understand these leadership principles, it just catapults people into a whole new dimension in their career, in their business. It really is the game changer. So what is it? So we decide, okay, Mark, I'll buy this. Maybe you're thinking of your career, your business, or just you're thinking, okay, I'll buy this for myself in my own life or my family, if you have a family. Where do I go from here? The first step, establish reality. When there's things in your life that you don't like, there are things that are going on. Don't blame circumstances. Don't go into, oh, he said, she said. Just establish where you're at and then make it yours. Own it. The leader's first job is to find out what reality is. Most people, and I feel awkward about saying most people, but you know what? I conservatively, it's definitely over half of people struggle with living in reality. The leader's number one job is to find out reality. Don't sit there and go, you know what? I really hope that this time next year you won't be. I can't guarantee you'll be where you want to be next year. I can't guarantee I'll be there, but I can pretty well guarantee we won't be there if we just sit there and go, yeah, I hope so. No, you won't so. You really, really won't. And you want to be able to do more than that. So let's not blame our circumstances. Let's not lead it to chance. Let's just look at a question here. What would happen if you doubled your leadership ability over the next 12 months? I mean, think about those graphs we looked at, or the effectiveness ones. Let's just have a look at that again. So you've got the effectiveness here, and that's the 80%. What would happen if we just talked about leadership ability and you doubled your ability to lead? That's going to suck in the other areas too, because leadership that's the big daddy, really. We start with communication and then leadership becomes the linchpin, or certainly in my experience. Wow, what would that do? How would that influence your company, your team, your career? I can tell you, it will have a massive effect. Let me tell you what it'll do for you as well. Your personal confidence is going to rocket. I don't know what the percentage is. I've never read a study paper, but I know the reality for a lot of people, and certainly every person I've worked with, that they are not paid what they're worth. Actually, you can never pay a human being what they're worth because you can't put a value on us. But the service that they bring, generally, that they can earn more. And I've worked with people where they've gone, wow, actually, what I bring is really valuable. I've seen people increase their salary by 20, 30, 40, 50%. I've seen up to 400% salary increase just by someone coming to terms with the reality of what they deliver and having the confidence to stand behind it. That's what leadership brings. That's just what self-leadership brings. Once we start to be able to actually take our leadership influence outside of ourselves, we can start doing that for our team. We can start doing that for our business, for our company. And I'm just thinking of an example now of someone that I've worked with, and where this person brings incredible value. You see, they're a manager and they have a team. And managers are taught to manage. A manager is given a system, and I'm all for systems, and they manage the system. But you can't systemize human beings. Humans can use systems. But if you want to motivate a human being, you lead them. And this guy has got a track record of you put him in with a team and he will just take that team to another level. Why? He doesn't shortcut the system, but he leads the people. And his figures go away. His key KPIs, poof, through the ceiling. Out expenses plummet, wastage plummets, staff turnover plummets. Why? Because he's a manager who knows how to lead. And that, my friend, is why I will encourage you to understand what leadership is, embrace it for yourself, and after a while that's going to start to show in your life, and that's going to start working out with the people you work with. Hey, this has been great. Let's carry on working together. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.